Very good evening, everybody. So, Champions League is over with and done for another year. So, here's a few things. I've had to write them down because there's that many of them. Now, some time ago, there was talk of 6 teams from the Premier League going to form a breakaway, and it was quickly squashed. But did you know it hasn't gone away? No, it hasn't. And what that potentially means is there's a few teams in Europe who are looking to reform the European Super League. Now, when it did happen, we all know those teams that were involved had the crappiest fine in Premier League history. I think it was £3 million a club with a warning. The warning was that at the time, if there was any more talk that they may be excluded. Well, there's still talk on the grapevine. So, what I'm going to talk about here is teams. There's 20 teams in total in the Premier League. And I want to talk about a couple of them. A couple of teams who have bent the rule to meet them. One of those teams based in London, Chelsea. Now Chelsea, before Todd Boehly came in and Clear Lake, were owned by one of the richest people, and when he basically came into the Premier League, he kind of rewrote all of the rules. He made it look like if you're a billionaire, you can do what the hell you like. And that's what he did. Now, the one thing about Chelsea is this, and I find this absolutely staggering. A link to 2 fellow YouTube channels who have spoken about this. Matty from Magpie Channel TV spoke about this afternoon when he was up the coast. A player who Newcastle United and the players' agents had been up in Newcastle to talk about the possibility of him coming to St James's Park. Well, it's never going to happen. And that's partly one of the reasons why I wrote it down on this list. You see, according to Matty and Adam Pearson's channel, here's the thing. Matty broke the news on this, but Adam spoke about it first. And that was around about dinner time. So what's basically happened is that Chelsea have offered Tosin a deal. Now, their deal is £60,000 more than what Newcastle United were offering. And the reason why I wanted to speak about Chelsea first, is this. In the headlines in the past couple of weeks, across most of the tabloid papers, it has been said Chelsea have to clear out some of their superstar players to balance the books, which kind of makes this offer to this other footballer, Tosin, an absolute laughingstock. Reason being is this. Since the Premier League was introduced, Chelsea, above many other teams, have been able to acquire talent from wherever they chose. And before Todd Bowley came in with Clear Lake, nothing was said. Nothing at all. And what makes me wonder is this. This player is going to sign for Chelsea and he is going to receive a pay packet that is £60,000 more than what Newcastle United were offering. I'll get to Newcastle a little bit further in. But, like I say, with this team, they have offered this guy, this Tosin, he's a pretty good footballer, but they've offered him £60,000 more than we were offering. And yet, they're going to have to sell up to 5 superstar players to appease UEFA because of the rules and regulations. Never mind the rules and regulations in the Premier League, considering they are paying absolutely stupid and mental wages. Now, yes, they are a capital team. That is very true. And London is a very expensive place to live. But what you're going to look at is this. Stamford Bridge. And how many it holds. What's its capacity? It's 38,000. And I think it stinks. That's my honest opinion. You can have your own opinion. You're welcome to it. So, then we get to Everton, team from Merseyside, who, let's be honest, are moving away from the old stadium. They've built a new stadium in the docks. A crazy idea, but they have done it. And I believe come the start of the new season that they're going to be at this dock area. And here's my point with Everton. Points deductions. They've been hit twice with points deductions. Now, to be honest, right, when you're building a new updated state-of-the-art stadium, that costs a lot of money. A hell of a lot of money. As Daniel Levy of Tottenham can justify, because their stadium was £1 billion. Very nice stadium, but it cost £1 billion. And the likelihood is that they're going to be paying off that for ages and ages and ages, just like Everton. And they were hit twice with this points deduction because of FFP, PSR, and basically spending on players. Now, another team, this one is local, Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest this season survived by the bloody skin of their teeth. But they were also hit, and hit hard. Now, part of the family do support Nottingham Forest. So I have to give them their dues. I've been supporting Newcastle United since I was young'un. So I know what it feels like. And we, as a club, Newcastle United, helped Forest out with we had Chris Wood, and we had, I believe we had 3 players who left to go to Forest. I'm sure Shelby. But the thing is this, they were given points deductions, and I'm sure you will inform me of this player, because this player came to us when we were in the Championship before we came back up. His name just has gone out my brain. Now, obviously you've had your Everton and Nottingham. So now we come to a club who, from where I live now, are about 25 mile that direction. Leicester. They won the Championship after going down last season, relegated, and they've bounced straight back up. But Football Insider and Kieran Maguire, a very well respected finance expert, has said the Premier League are going to rush through a sanction against them because of players. And it looks like, from what I've read with what Kieran Maguire said, 15 points deduction. That's wrong. Now, we had, who was it? Harvey Barnes from them. And Harvey has settled in, and he has also put the ball in the back of the net quite a few times. But it looks as though they're going to be hit with a points deduction, which is absolutely bang out of order. Now, Newcastle United. When Newcastle United went through the takeover process, the takeover process was 18 months. New world record. And maybe there was assurances during the deal, maybe, that once the takeover was confirmed, Newcastle United would not do what Chelsea did, what Manchester City did, to name just 2 of the 20 clubs. We've had our hands tied and we've had huge injuries to key players. And we've had it where we are trying to get new commercial deals in to St James's Park, and we've gone through this feasibility study where they are looking at increasing the capacity. It's not something for us supporters, because at the end of the day we just go in and we sit our backsides down on the seats. But as Adam was saying today, Adam Pearson on his channel, it looks as though those who are lucky enough to get into St James's Park, it looks as though those people are going to have to pay more money for the privilege, because changes are afoot. Now, I said many times when I was on Twitter, now called X, said many times, ways and means of growing commercial income. No letters back, no emails back, nothing. So you can only do so much. And 2 things knackered us last season. Absolutely knackered us. Was, even though technically speaking, we're the richest club on planet Earth, our feet and our hands are tied behind us because of FFP, which later on became PSR. You can only spend 105 million over 3 seasons. And yet other teams can spend what they want. They can do what they want. And that's crazy. It's not a level playing field. And we fought to get the season before this one. We fought hard to get 4th, to go into the Champions League. This season we couldn't make it because basically we threw away games. Shocking, true. Now, Manchester City, the big boys, champions, 4 years on the trot. Now, well, Everton and Nottingham Forest were being given deductions in points. Manchester City have 115 charges. All the Premier League will say is this: it is going to be dealt with. No date given at all. So it could be any time. It could be the back end of next year, after they have raced back to the top of the Premier League. Could be. We don't know. Because it's held behind closed doors. And that is infuriating football fans. They can do what they like. There's been much talk of would they have the trophies that they have won taken from them. But you can't really do that. It's as bad as when a football match has been played and on the Monday after the football match has been played at the weekend, the chief of the referees in VAR turns around and says, well, we're very sorry, mistake was made. It's gone. The points have gone. So that's why they're looking at that. And then you have, on top of that, Manchester United. Two things. Manchester United topping up Dan Ashworth. And here's the thing. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who is 27% owner and placed in charge of all football matters at Manchester United, is allowed to turn around and do what the hell he wants. He's even going to get a grant from the government for work done at Old Trafford. Yeah. And that's only part of it. Because yesterday and today, reports are coming out that he has turned around and said to staff who were sent home to work from home, they either come back to Manchester United or you're going to get severance pay. How bonkers is that? Now, that's a lot of things covered. And we all want a level playing field, but we're not getting it. I know they're going to be discussing VAR and possible changes to that. I do know that's going to happen. When? Before next season. It hasn't just affected Newcastle United though. It's affected other teams as well. And as I just said before, it's no good the head guy of the referees turning round and saying the day after a match has been played, if it's on a Sunday, on the Monday, and saying, we're very sorry, we made a blunder, because those points are gone. Now moving forward with Newcastle United, like I said right at the beginning of the video, a player from a London team, Fulham, is now going across to a neighbour in Chelsea for £60,000 more than what Newcastle United were offering. So I think Newcastle United, our club, needs to raise the bar on our players, because we're not in the previous owner's regime. He's gone. He got bought out. And I'm talking about keeping players like Alexander Isak, Bruno, Harvey Barnes, Anthony Gordon, and others. There's even talk of Mickey possibly going to Italy. There was talk the other day of Mickey going to Saudi Arabia with Callum Wilson. Selling those who can put the ball in the back of the net is one thing. You know, many people have turned around and said, Callum Wilson, when he's fit, when he's playing, he's unstoppable. But he missed a large part of the season. Same as Alexander Isak. He missed a part of our season because of injury. And there wasn't a damn thing we could do about it. In the bloody transfer window in January, we couldn't do anything. Fans waiting, like on transfer deadline night, waiting for news. That's never going to come. That's wrong. So, there's what? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams brought up on that bit of paper. 7 teams from 20. And I was reading something about the case with the champions. It was something by Richard Masters. Doesn't want to upset the apple cart. So does that mean that 115 charges, you bad boy? Huh? Is that what it is? Epoxy fine? Or is it the case where City or will be relegated for at least 2 seasons? Because, let me be honest, right? I've never ever heard in my lifetime of supporting Newcastle United since a kid. I've never ever heard of 115 charges against any club. And it just makes me wonder. So, here's the thing, coming to the end. Very contentious list. I've got, very contentious. However, we want it to be a level playing field for the 20 teams in the Premier League. Now, if it comes to bear that because of the Big Six breaking away again, think about what that's going to do to English football, because it is on lots of different discussions. They are still talking about it. and it won't go away. So just remember that. You, if I don't like it, but it hasn't gone away. So thanks very much for being here right at the end. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe, very important. And spread the word. Thanks very much.